Hey everyone, it's Friday. That means it's time to deploy. We are back for another episode. With me is Jim, as always. Jim, how was your week?
It's the end of the week already, is it? It's
Yep.
hectic week, long week. Feeling like Brian in the background there. How about you?
Yeah, good. Very busy, as always. I think that seems to be the canonical answer for everything. How about less busy than last week? But still
That's
busy.
that's good.
Yeah.
Trending up, trending down.
Yeah. Yes. And, the dog in the back obviously is my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like all the other dogs we have made reference to that in the last episode where we have a dogs channel in our Slack. Anyways, moving on to the news of the week. This is a tweet from Dan. Dan's our VP of open source here at Octopus. And he said, shout out to Pasha from CodeFresh, who went beast mode and reviewed 60 PRs this last week in Argo CD and merged 39. So we are a maintainer of Argo CD. And there's a whole list of PRs that have been closed thanks to Pasha. And yeah, definitely great stuff there.
60 is like, what, over 10 a day? That's huge.
Yeah, light work, Some of them are just, approving of bumps to versions and all that. But yeah, light work, come on. This is a blog post that Costas wrote last month. It's entitled How to Structure Your Argo CD Repositories Using Application Sets. This is actually getting a lot of traction in the community at the moment because people are really enjoying this article. And so if you haven't had a chance to check this out, this is up on our blog at codefresh.io/blog. And where Costas basically talks about manifests and application sets is obviously relevant to Kubernetes and the sort of patterns that you'll find when authoring your manifests, etc. So if you're all curious about checking out strategies relative to that with patterns, etc., you can take a look at what Costas has written there. The reason why I mention this is because we keep getting feedback about this all the time. So Argo CD repositories using application sets. And over here on the right-hand side, you may notice that we have some GitOps certifications listed. In fact, we actually have a set of certifications you can check out at learning.octopus.io. These and other types of certifications you can get through this site. You can enroll in our courses. And incidentally, we actually have some Credly badges. We haven't actually announced these yet, but I thought I'd take the opportunity here to basically mention them. So Credly is a badge issuer. It's from the folks over at Pearson. They do certifications and such. And if you get your Azure Fundamentals course or your HashiCorp course or any kind of course that you'd write or get a certification for, this is where you'd likely get those badges. And so we have two badges that we're going to be announcing shortly. One is GitOps Fundamentals, which is for the GitOps Fundamentals course. And the other one is GitOps at Scale, which is the GitOps at Scale course. Both of these badges will be soon issued as part of our learning criteria. Which I've now closed the window of. This one. As part of our learning criteria for these certifications. And so in addition to getting a certificate through our platform here, you also start to see badges issued through Credly. For those folks who have already written their certifications, we will issue those badges retroactively. So you still want to write the course, you can. You'll still get your badge once we turn this on. So that's good stuff there. I always like seeing badges being sent out. Argo CD app promotion made easy is a webinar coming up on June 11th. This is one of our many webinars that we'll be hosting. This one is going to be talking about, tired of writing scripts, CI/CD pipelines, and doing lots of copy paste to promote changes between environments. CodeFresh is launching environments and products to make it easy to model how changes are promoted from one application to another across different environments, Kubernetes clusters, and Argo instances in one simple declarative format. So if you check out this webinar, which is on June 11th, you can sign up here at codefresh.io. You can sign up for this webinar where we'll show you basically how this is done. This is from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So just be aware that is the time. But we'll be answering your questions and we'll show a bunch of demos and show how this works. So make sure to sign up there. Speaking of webinars, we have a bunch of other webinars coming up. These you can find at octopus.com/webinars. Please feel free to check out this page. We've got a bunch of webinars coming up in the remainder of this month as well as next month and beyond. As you can see, we've got a bunch of stuff that's coming, so feel free to check those out at octopus.com/webinars. Switching over to LinkedIn, this is really the big news I was kind of building up to. So this week, I guess, earlier this week of this recording was Microsoft Build. And on the keynote stage, Satya announced a new feature of GitHub Copilot called extensions. And you may be wondering what these things are. You may notice we're listed here. We are one of the few partners that built out what's called a Copilot extension. What is a Copilot extension? Well, we all know what Copilot is. Copilot is this capability that allows you to use AI in a targeted way via something like VS Code. And you can use just natural text expressions to do operations in that context. So you can say like, hey, format this table, or give me code suggestions, or write unit tests, or things like that for this sample, for example. And so Copilot extensions allow you to evolve the capability of GitHub Copilot as it runs within that context. So what we've done is we've written this Copilot extension. This is the blog post that talks about it up on GitHub blog. And so what these are basically a set of extensions that you can use in the context of GitHub Copilot. And there are a bunch of examples listed here. Our video is right here. This is our video demonstrating what you can do with Octopus Deploy, the extension for GitHub Copilot. And so we show an example of, querying deployments and all that sort of stuff, which is great. And if you want to know more, you can actually watch this video that I recorded with Matt Casperson, who is the engineer that wrote this. And he and I went into great detail showing demos of how this works, some examples here. So he's basically using sort of natural language here to query the system. So you can see we've got this @Octopus AI app. You just direct your query to that, and then you can give it a bunch of natural language text prompts to query your instance. So it can be things like, show me the list of projects within the space Copilot demo, or how do I enable server-side apply if you're doing Kubernetes, for example, or things like status. The status success is represented by a green dot, status progress is represented by blue, et cetera, et cetera. Generate a table based on that. And so Matt shows an example of that in this demo here. So just scrolling over here, you can see there's I just missed it. Sorry. If you want to watch this video, it's up on our YouTube channel. This is the example that plopped here. So this is actually querying the Octopus instance via GitHub Copilot and using our extension to get that information back from Octopus. So there you go.
I want to watch it. Let's watch it now.
Sure. 13 minutes. It's nothing. We're on 2 times speed. It's 6.5 minutes. So there you go. So yeah. So go ahead and check it out. It's up on our channel now. That's the Octopus Deploy channel here. You can check that out. We've got a bunch of videos there, including our latest webinars, and obviously this is the latest one that we've published here. That was yesterday, our GitHub Copilot extension, which is awesome. If you want to check it out yourself, you can read about it up on our press release. We talk a little bit about it there. And then you can check it out up on the marketplace. So if you go to github.com/marketplace, there's a new section here called Copilot. So before it was just apps and actions. So GitHub Actions and apps, which we do have as well. But now there's this new section for Copilot extensions, and we're listed right there, Octopus for GitHub Copilot. If you go there, it gives a listing of what it is, how it works, the prerequisites, and then the docs, and then Matt shows an example. This is against his instance, for example. So if I go to this location, it's the same demo that we showed in the video, but basically generate a table based on the status of a deployment. So there you go. What's interesting about this is we also have docs, but Matt set this up, which is really cool. So these are the docs for the GitHub extension, so writing queries, etc. We've actually set up Matt set up this web page that you can go to, where you don't need to actually run against a demo instance. You can use this web page to run against our demo or samples instance here, and then execute queries against that. So we have a test website here that you can run against if you so wish. This is what it looks like. And this is where you'll provide your PAT, or personal access token, for GitHub, the query you want to write, and then the history will show up in the response. You can set this up against our test instance as well if you want. So if you want to see things that are flying around in the raw, you can certainly do that as an example. Here's what this may look like. So GitHub token, query, print the last lines of the most recent deployment. And then when you take a look at it, you can see it's step 6, and then it issues that step there as part of the deployment. So cool stuff. And this is all based on AI. So we have AI now supported through GitHub Copilot. Pretty cool. That was the big one. That was the one I was kind of leaving to the lastly but not leastly. So there you go. Awesome.
Makes me feel old, all this AI stuff, John.
That's right. Oh, the kids these days, they don't understand the terminal prompts we had to use, right? So, yep. I remember back when floppies were 5.25 and whatever, 3.5 floppies, etc. I'm sure the people who are older than us will say, "Oh yeah, well I remember, data tracks and tapes and all that sort of stuff." Anyways, this is not meant to beat up my dad can beat up your dad kind of contest, but there you go. So, anyways, that wraps up another edition of Deploy. Nice way to end it. Another edition of Deploy on Friday. We're here every week, so feel free to check us out. If you happen to stumble upon this video, feel free to like and subscribe. And until next week, happy deployments. We'll see you then. Take care, everyone.